Hi. The book I'm going to talk to you about today is All Hallows Eve, 13 Stories, and it's by VandeVelde. This is kind of a nice book to read if you're looking for something that's not too long, looking for a quick read. All of the stories in this book take place on Halloween, so you know they're going to be a little spooky. But the thing that I like about this book is that the writing is very clever. Even though there are some parts that make me want to turn on all the lights in my house, I really enjoyed the writing of this. There are some of the stories are like I said, pretty chilling. There's one about a girl who gets trapped in a mausoleum in a cemetery. There's a story about a serial killer who's able to kill even though he's dead. The story that I want to share with you today is a story called Marion. Now, Marion is a young lady who unfortunately was killed by a drunk driver who he hit her when she was on the street, and instead of stopping, he took off, and then he wiped the blood evidence off of the front of his car and sold the car to an unsuspecting teenager named Justin. And in the story, we have Justin driving this car, which sounds like it's a piece of junk, and he's driving away from his friend's apartment. And just like we have at our school, those speed bumps that are pretty big, and if you drive over them too fast, you're going to scrape the bottom of your car. Well, that's pretty much what happens to Justin in his car. He goes over it too fast, scrapes the bottom of his car really badly, and says, "Oh my gosh, I think that I've damaged my car somehow." And what we discover is that there's more to this car than meets the eye. So here's the part of it. One of the warning lights flickered. Check engine, door ajar, fasten seatbelts. It was gone too fast to know which it had been, and something seemed to have rattled loose in the dashboard. There was a noise like static, as though the radio were coming on between stations. This didn't seem likely, because the radio hadn't worked since September, since about 5 minutes after Justin gave the guy money for the car. You knew you were pathetic when you bought a car that a college kid was tossing away. But Justin turned the volume dial up anyway. A sexy female voice said, "This is Marion. Mobile and Regional Interactive Assisted Navigation. How may I help you?" Justin took his hand away from the radio dial so he could turn the steering wheel as he pulled out of Andrea's apartment complex and onto the street. He expected that whatever radio program he'd happened upon, the probability indicated it would be a commercial and that it would continue. But it didn't. There was silence. The face of the radio wasn't lit up, and he wondered if two wires had made momentary contact with the jostling, only to disconnect again. Still, Justin was an optimist, and he turned the volume knob up a bit higher. Then he changed the station to see if anything came in. Slightly louder, the voice said, "This is Marion. Mobile and Regional Interactive Assisted Navigation. How may I help you?" The most logical explanation was still a commercial. Just his luck to get the same commercial on 2 different stations. But Justin repeated, softly, fearfully, even though there was no one to hear him making a fool of himself in the car. "Marion?" The voice asked, "What is your destination?" Feeling like an idiot, Justin said again, "Marion?" And the voice said, "Yes." Pretty spooky. And the story gets even more intense over the next, I think there are maybe 2 or 3 more pages to read. And you read it pretty quickly because you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? What's going on? What's going to happen? So I really recommend this book if you're looking for something short, if you're looking for some intense but kind of fun short stories to read. Go ahead and check this one out. It is available for you today. Thank you very much.